groovy. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Knife Party Podcast, where we leave it all on the cutting room floor. I'm, of course, your illustrious host, Zach Evergreen, and joined with me today. It's an empty house, but thanks to the technology of the interwebs and Discord, I am joined by Nick Neo. Nick, say what's up.
What's up?
So, apparently, the zombie van, the zombie mobile, the corpse wagon, the midnight meat train has a lot of maintenance that needs to be done to it, and so no Mr. Azure today, for he is in financial peril. That's the shitty thing about your car, dude. He's like, everything seems tip-top and you're ahead of bills, and then all of a sudden you take it in and they find hell of shit wrong with it all at once. So we're just doing it as the tag team of Neo and myself today. See, this is why when I take in my car, I always say, find something wrong with it. So that way this shit doesn't pile up. Because then you're like, all right, yeah, I'll get that. Okay, all right, next oil change. Okay, and then they're like, yeah, that led to more problems, dude. You know? So, like, I remember one time, I had my first car, my Lincoln Continental. I didn't change the spark plugs because I didn't really know about that. I mean, it was my first car. You know, I just drove it. And, like, the spark plugs fried and burned out the computer and did tons more damage to the whole fucking car when it was just, like, $1 spark plug or something I could have replaced. You know how it is, right?
Ooh,
yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all. I don't even think modern cars have more. They're internal, I believe. Anyway, today, because of our lack of folks, we were like, shit, well, we need to do a movie, but we don't want to do the Cornello trilogy just without everybody. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's a big deal. And we were thinking, and I straight up was sitting here, and I'm like, you know what? We've talked Evil Dead. We talked Evil Dead Rise, kinda. We did like a mini review on that. We did the greatest moments of Evil Dead. We haven't did Army of Darkness. So why not? And also, it's a really quick watch. It's under an hour and a half. It's 121 minutes. So an easy one to kind of pull off. Plus, I didn't really necessarily have to take notes, seeing how I've watched this so many goddamn times. Growing up, I had this aired on Comedy Central, of all places, at like midnight, and I taped it. And it was like the full thing without commercials.
Nice.
And I remember having that VHS copy for the longest time. And, you know, I'm watching the version I have right here. It's called the Screwhead Edition. And it's got the alternate ending if you so choose to watch it, and a couple other things on it. And yeah, like, I'm going to tell you from the version I grew up with to this version, not many differences. It's pretty much like, this movie really isn't that. In the series, this is like the kids movie, the rated G version of Evil Dead. And I think
comparatively,
yeah, comparably, right? Try watching this and then watch Evil Dead 13 or watch Evil Dead Rise and even Evil Dead 2 and go like, I can't believe this is all in the same like series. This one, very, very different. Very, very slapsticky. We'll get into it in a second. But first, I got to thank my sponsors, and that'd be you guys. The Patreons member for only $1. You could join the I'd Buy That for $1 tier. You get bonus content such as Midnight Ramen. And at $5, I got 5 kids to feed. You have all of our shelved material or material deemed not safe for work. Plus Knife Party After Dark, where the lights are off, but the mics are hot. And finally, at the $20 level, you get to suggest movies by stopping the bike at Stop the Bike, Stop the Bike. And you can even be on them on our Discord channel, which is you can get cordially invited to. And also you get a rant and rave on our message board. It's way better than Twitter. And it's a lot of fun. And everyone on there cares about you and your opinion. I mean, shit, we did Hellraiser too because people voted for it.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. I just re-listened to that episode, and yeah, you could just hear the disdain of like, well, we like this movie, but we didn't like this movie. We want to watch Fallout. It's like, it's a pretty funny episode when you could just tell that like we're just killing time. You know, we're just like, let's get this turd out of the way.
It's like we said we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, one of our sponsors, one of our original, our OG, Caps and Cork, who is still with us, by the way. I'm sorry for worrying you out there. No, Caps and Cork is still a sponsor of the show. And they have fine adult beverages there. Whiskeys, rums, ryes. Most importantly, though, they have some good local wine. And that's economically friendly. You know, you're not going to spend like, $50 there. You know, these are more like, $25 reds. Pretty good stuff. But most importantly, their microbeer section is unbeatable and forever changing. And custom orders, you can go, hey, man, how come I haven't seen blankety blank in a while? And guess what? Usually, blankety blank will arrive. So that's Caps and Cork. And that's on the borderlands of Vallejo and American Canyon in the sleepy part of the Napa Valley. Should we just go on and start the review? I got a trailer. Oh, no.
Trailer.
I got a trailer. I forgot. Fun facts. Yeah. So this was released 30 years ago, February 12th of 1992. And I remember this was advertised in my comic books. I had a few Wolverine comic books, and they had the giant full-page Army of Darkness poster on the back, which was pretty cool. And I wanted to see it when I was a kid. And I remember there was a hype surrounding this movie. And for whatever reason, I never saw it. And I don't know, in the theater, I don't know if it's because my parents didn't want to, or maybe if it was just like in theaters for a moment. It wasn't in for a long time. I'm not sure. It's playing in theaters right now as we speak, according to IMDb. It's got a 68% on the Rotten Tomato scale, and audience gave it 87. How say you on the Evergreen Tomato Meter?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in the critics, but it's the critics, and most of the time they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, most of the time they're wrong.
I'll give Army of Darkness a solid 85, just across the board.
That is funny that you say that.
It's a popcorn movie, but at the same time, it's not.
Exactly. I was going to give it exactly an 85 too, and I'll tell you why. I was on kind of the fence about it. He's like, yeah, why am I going lower than the audience? Well, this is my favorite series, and this might be the weakest of all of the movies in the series. But, like you said, it's written like a perfect, and you could really tell where the Xena influence, because that's the next thing Raimi did after this. I believe he did Darkman, and then he did Xena. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he did Darkman.
Yeah, and then he did Xena.
And Bruce Campbell did do a cameo in the first one right at the end.
Yeah, it's true. And then he got famous again for his Spider-Man movies, and that's when Raimi kind of just became a producer and relinquished the reins of Evil Dead to fan filmmakers, and that's why Evil Dead right now is still the best series, right? Is because they just made a movie last year, and it was fantastic. Actually, I think it was almost a year ago, exactly, because I went and saw it in May, Evil Dead Rise of last year.
Yeah.
So. I would agree. 85. It's not the best out of the series by far, not even close. But for what it is, like, say if I was going to be babysitting somebody's kid, I could throw on this movie and enjoy it, and the kid would too, and it's not too scary. You know, it's mainly like it's so goddamn silly that it's not scary. And they even give Ash his hand back, too. Of course, it's mechanical, but still. All right, so I'm going to hit the music. Let's get into it.
That's the episode, just us doing...
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Fuck, that was even better. That was better. God fucking damn it. Fucking damn it.
So there you go. That's their music. So let's throw up this little trailer here, and we will get into it. This is I got the original 92 trailer. I like finding the original ones. So let's see. Come on, movie. There we go.
In an age of darkness.
May God have mercy upon your souls.
Something's wrong. Something's amiss.
And a time of evil.
You shall die!
When the world needed a hero.
Just one was all. I don't want to die!
What it got was him.
Groovy. You know your shoelace is untied.
He's a 20th century guy.
For that arrogance, I shall see you dead.
Trapped in the Middle Ages.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boomstick.
Now, let's talk about how I get back home.
Foretold by a mystical book.
Within its pages are passages that can send you back to your time.
Forewarned by a wise man.
You must recite the words Klaatu, Verato, Nictu.
I got it.
Fulfilled by a wise guy.
Klaatu, verato.
When thou misspoke the words, the army of the dead awoke.
Now he's got a date.
Give me some sugar, baby.
With the army of darkness.
You found me beautiful once.
Honey, you got real ugly.
Sound the trumpets. Raise the drawbridge. Drop the Oldsmobile. From Sam Raimi.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Director of Darkman. Comes Army of Darkness. They live. They breathe. They suck. Army of Darkness.
Pretty good trailer. I miss old trailers, especially with the that music that was clearly sad but true. And the second song was a Megadeth song, which is hilarious. That I've never thought Metallica and Megadeth would be in the same trailer. Of course, it is what you call a sound alike because that is not the actual real band. But there you go. Yeah, so solid movie. It starts off where Evil Dead 2 left off, which is the crashing of the Oldsmobile and, you know, hail, 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 and the prophecy from the book and everything else like that, which I like. Of course, it looks a lot different now that there's more of a budget. It's kind of weird, like, thinking about when if you watch Evil Dead 2 and then watch this one right after, obviously there's a continuity error kind of because they don't trust him at first. They accuse him of being one of King Henry's men. And
Henry the Red.
Henry the Red, yes. And they kidnap him, or take him prisoner, rather. And they're about to execute him with Henry the Red and his men. But when they throw him in the pit, which has a deadite in there, the wizard guy is like, "Strange one," and he throws him his chainsaw, and we get this cool epic shot of him like doing the Super Mario punch up, and the chainsaw just goes bloop, like right on him. It's a great sound effect. And then we get some hilarious kung fu fighting. He somehow gets his shotgun back. I don't know if they took it or if it was in there too. They don't really explain, but in one scene he doesn't have a shotgun, and then the next scene he has a shotgun. This movie's guilty of the Resident Evil clip, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. A double barrel shotgun that is never reloaded. It is right. Like he reloads it after a battle. If even that, or you know what he does? He blows on it after shooting, like, and that reloads the gun, I guess. It's magical. I mean, it might as well be. So You know, if you're playing D&D and you find a boomstick, just know you don't need ammo. You're good.
You know what? I know what it is. But firstly, he's the main character, so nothing bad ever happens.
Yeah.
Secondly, the ammo regenerates. It just takes a second.
Got it. Generating ammo. Good call.
That's why he only fires one barrel at a time.
Got it. This movie should actually be called Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell versus the Evil Dead or something, because this is just them having fun. Like, you could tell when they're doing this movie, they're having a lot of fun, and even like Bruce Campbell doing his own, like many of his own stunts, getting kind of like not as beat up as bad as he did in the other movies, but still doing a lot of physical stuff, you know. But yeah, it's kind of like, I think when they wrote this, they had a script that was probably only about 60 pages, maybe even 45, which would be a runtime about an hour. And I bet you they go, okay, what do we want to do here? What should we have fun in you know, with this, right? Like, do you actually think that the storyboards were all bordered out?
No.
I doubt it, right? Especially like in the main attack. But anyway, he kills the Deadites, and he earns their trust, I guess, by going, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my boomstick, groovy baby. And they're all like, okay, sure. He frees Henry the Red. They ride off. Smash cut to, we see him like eating grapes with beautiful women, and you know, first he's like, well, how do I get home, you know? And then he's like, I'm kind of enjoying this thing. It's pretty cool. And they kind of like tell him about the book and everything else, and Ash, for, you know, for whatever reason, it kind of seems like odd that it's almost like he has Necronomicon amnesia in this movie. Like, he kind of acts like he's never seen it before, in a way, even though he clearly has. But then again, he has that in Evil Dead 2 as well. Like, a lot of people argue that it is the evil that erased his memory in number 1. But you would think in number 2, he wouldn't fuck around with the book, seeing how it caused all the problems in number 1. You know what I mean? Even though, no, in number 2, he plays the recording of somebody reading it, but still. Yeah, because that's the... Anyway, regardless. So then he's...
I'm going to go with that he just gets punched too many times.
So he has like that brain trauma disease. I forgot what it's called. CDST or whatever that football players get. Like, where you get so much brain damage, you just, you know, Muhammad Ali had it. CDT, something like that. I know there's somebody knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, like the concussion disease, the thing that Chris Benoit had. So, yeah, it could be that. He goes on an epic quest to get this book back, which is not too epic. He just kind of like rides in the night to get it. And, you know, forgets his line and doesn't say the magic words properly. And then rides back and shit starts getting evil. One of my favorite, like, whole parts in this is when he goes into the windmill. And it's like the Gulliver's Travels, where he breaks the mirror of him and little guys come out. And the whole London Bridge is falling down with the giant nail. And then, you know, you have them knock him out. But first, like, yeah. He gets knocked down, and they even like grab it. His face gets put on that part is evil, and he uses a spatula to get it off. This is one of the scenes I'm telling you, I know for a fact they did not write this. I know for a fact that they're just like, fuck it, what gags do you want to do? You know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's totally Three Stooges. And I know Sam Raimi is the hugest Three Stooges fan. I mean, this almost every Three Stooges gag, including the finger poke is in here too. Later on when he's in the graveyard, right? Or maybe that happened on the way. Regardless, I don't know. I've seen this movie so many damn times, but I forget in which order it happens, and I didn't feel like taking notes just because it's like the story is pretty straightforward. There's not really a lot of like hidden meanings, or this ain't a Tarantino movie. This ain't an Onion. You know, there's not a lot to peel here. It's like an orange, one peel, done. You'd probably do it in one sitting. This is also when the little ashes like jump in his mouth, and then we get the Ash versus Ash little dirty two shoes part. One of the greatest lines in like cinematic history. You're the good Ash, and I'm the bad Ash. And he shoots him in the face, like, and he goes, "Good, bad, I'm got the gun." I love that fucking line. So good. Very like Chuck Heston or no. Very Dirty Harry of him, if you will. You think?
Yeah.
Something like that. So this is where the movie kind of gets a little weird because we see Bad Ash like regenerate, right? First off, there's a hilarious fight scene that goes on for a while between them, where he's like coming out of his shoulder. He's got like that giant winking eye. But I noticed this now, and I'm surprised I didn't notice it then, because I was a huge fan of the band at the time. But dude, I think Gwar ripped off Evil Ash for Odorous. Like, he looks just like Odorous. He being Odorous looks just like Evil Ash, meaning Evil Ash obviously came first. But even a lot of the sound effects in this, and also in Hellraiser, in like Gwar shows when they're killing people, they will pipe in sound effects from Evil Dead and also Hellraiser, but mainly Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. But dude, Evil Ash, like, I wanted to call him Odorous the whole time. He looks just like, type in on your Google machine Evil Ash and then type in Odorous Urungus Gwar. Like, not new Gwar, but old Gwar. And dude, striking resemblance, right? And so did you know that Bruce Campbell played both Evil Ash and Ash?
I figured as much.
I did too, but he acts so different. Like, it's kind of almost in a way the first time you see Bruce Campbell act in his career. Because normally Bruce Campbell's just kind of doing a version of himself, you know, whether it be like Ash basically is Bruce Campbell's personality, you know, wacky, silly, a little like, but you know, it's just blown out of proportion, kind of like pro wrestling, you know, where Stone Cold said, "Oh, I'm just me turned up to 11." Well, that's kind of like what Ash is Ash is just Bruce turned up to 11, and with a sprinkle in a little bit more bravado and cowardice, and you know, because it's weird because you don't know if like Ash is like really, because he's a coward a lot of times in a lot of these movies, but at the same time, like, you know, he'll do something totally badass, and he's like, "Yeah, I meant to do that," kind of like, you know, kind of character. I don't know. You know what he kind of reminds me of? Or I was watching, when we were watching The Fall episode 6, I was kind of like, you know, Maximus has a little bit of Ash in him. Like, especially when like he eats the oysters and he's like, "But they gave me a bathrobe." Like, it just seems like something Ash would say.
Oh.
Okay, so at this point, he goes back to the castle, and they're like, "You fool, like, you just doomed us all." And he's like, "Oh, well, you know, a deal's a deal. I'm going back." And they're like, "Coward," you know, and everything else. And at this point, then his girlfriend, or the lady he was, you know, trying to bone, or did bone. I don't know. I think they bone. Do they bone? Because he does say pillow talk. So yeah, they do bone. She gets kidnapped by one of the Deadites, and now it's on. So I do like the montage that they use here, where Ash actually opens up the back of the Oldsmobile, and he has like his college books on physics or chemistry. One of the two. Yeah, chemistry. And they make like black powder and sulfur and all this other stuff, and they kind of gear up, and it's kind of like the 21st century knowledge mixed with old school alchemy creates a bunch of weird things like, we get to see like Ash's car converted into like a death chariot, like a death wagon, which is kind of cool. Of course, the catapults now, explode. And, we get to see some pyrotechnics there. And he basically takes over, doing the battle commands and stuff. And we actually do get a pretty good long battle. I mean, it's not like any Braveheart or anything. There's almost no blood because all these things are skeletons. There's a few like kind of fresh zombie guys, but they don't like it. It's not really. I mean, you see an arm hacked off here and there, but it's not to the extent of any of the other movies. Like I said, this is almost a kids movie. In fact, this movie is rated R, and I'm very, very, very pissed off at that. I don't think this should be rated R. Do you?
I'll say this. Keep in mind, it was rated R
because it was attached
in the
to Evil
early
Dead.
90s.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
I think if it was just called. See, I think that's another reason why they called it Army of Darkness is I didn't think they wanted it to be associated with Evil Dead, even though it is. I think they wanted it to be its own standalone movie. I would not be surprised if they fought damn hard to make this movie a rated PG-13. And I think it should be a 13, like at best. Like there's so much worse movies that means that this movie and Evil Dead Rise are both rated the same when one is fucking like disturbing scenes and this one is just it's a romp for the whole family. So I'm mad at that. But it's probably because it was Sam Raimi and probably because those critics, the people that do the rating system are super, super biased.
Yep.
Like, for instance, can you believe, like, here's another one. Do you ever see The Hammer with Adam Carolla? Okay, so that's a no.
Yes.
Oh, you did? The boxing movie?
Hebrew Hammer?
No.
Yeah, Hebrew Hammer.
Not the Hebrew Hammer. It's just called The Hammer. It's a boxing movie, but it's.
Oh, no, I haven't then.
Okay, it's good. I own it. So it's a movie about boxing, and it's a romantic comedy, and it got an R rating because it was written and directed by Adam Carolla, or written and stars, and they didn't like it because he's not on the left, and he was on the Man Show and shit. So they're like, oh yeah, he's getting an R rating. And when he asked why, they said, you use fuck twice in the movie, the word fuck. And he's like, what? He goes, first off, I think I only use it once in the movie. But anyway, if you rewatch that movie, you're really asking yourself after, you're like, this movie's rated R? Why? I don't know. That kind of bothers me. Like, for example, Jaws is rated PG. Not even PG-13. Well, I don't even think they had PG-13 back then. But yeah, Jaws is rated PG. Parental guidance.
Well, I mean, there was no actual violence. It's just assumed.
In Jaws?
Yeah.
No, you see Quint get eaten. You see, like, the dude on the banana boat get bit in half. I mean, you see some blood and shit. There's, like, a lot of blood in that movie. If that movie has more blood than any other PG-13 movie, I know that for a fact. But I don't know. I'd still think Jaws is. I mean, some people would even call it a horror movie. I mean, this horror aspect. I mean, it
certainly led to a very large panic about the ocean and people not going to it.
Yep, that's right. It was based off a true story too.
The 1919 Jersey shark attack.
Yeah, with the bull sharks that were swimming upriver. So they're going into fresh water and shit. That is fucking terrifying. Bull sharks terrify the shit out of me, man. Hey, God, what is it called? Oh, fuck. Have you ever played the game Maneater?
I think I have it on PlayStation.
It's actually a fun game. It's where you play a bull shark and you're on a revenge quest. And it sounds ridiculous, and you level up and stuff.
Okay.
It's actually pretty fun, and it's pretty hilarious too. But you start as a little baby shark, and then you grow and grow into like a megalodon, and you get to like trash cities and stuff. Like you could jump out and like flish flop and stuff, and like I don't know. It's one of those. The only thing is, it's way too grindy. Anyway, back to this movie. So after a long, conclusive battle, obviously, humanity wins with the help of Henry the Red. He comes in, to help, and then they're not sure what to do. Ash wants to leave. They're going to make him king. Not so much. Smash cut to him telling his story to Sam Raimi's brother of all people at S-Mart. So after all this, he goes back to work at the S-Mart. After everything that's happened, right? And then, a demon appears, and he goes into Ash mode and grabs a gun and kills the demon and gets the girl and Hail to the King, baby, kiss, and that's our ending. Now, have you ever seen the alternative ending?
As a matter of fact, I have, because that was the version I watched today.
Get out of here. So you saw the one where he wakes up in the future with the beard?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a weird ending. I'm glad they didn't do that. Because also, too, you wouldn't have got the television show, which, by the way, you know a lot about. Now, seeing how this kind of started, this got Ash out of the Evil Dead series and into his own series, because this is the last one Ash appears in. But then he started the Evil Dead series. Now, you've watched all of those, right? You watched all the seasons?
Yes.
Give us some feedback on that, because I've only seen the first 3 episodes.
Okay. Well, as you might remember,
yeah,
this takes place, 25 years after the events of Army of Darkness.
Okay.
And he's working a dead-end job, like usual, because, he aims high. And speaking of getting high, still gets high and gets drunk.
Doesn't he summon the Evil Dead by reading the girl poetry while they're high?
This chick he's trying to hook up with likes poetry. Like, hey, I've got some poetry. You want to check this out? 3 guesses what it is.
It's not Edgar Allan Poe. It's not Baudelaire. It's not Voltaire. The Necronomicon, written by the Sumerians in Human Blood.
20 points.
There we go.
And he ends up, shockingly here, summoning a deadite spirit that possesses said woman.
And now this series, is it kind of like 24 or is it meaning, is it like a continual story, or is each episode kind of episodic? Because I only watched the first 3. I never got into it. I tried to get into it, and maybe if I retried it, I'll get back into it. But
okay, it does start off a little slow, but it does have a actual continual story.
Okay. Did you ever see My Name is Bruce? Okay.
No.
My Name is Bruce.
Mostly because I forgot about it.
My Name is Bruce stars Bruce Campbell as himself, and everyone loves him because of, in this world, Evil Dead exists. And then, some hijinks ensue where kind of the Evil Dead happens, except for it's like a mummy. It's weird. It's kind of like Bubba Hotep meets Ash versus the Evil Dead, but totally breaks kayfabe. And Bubba Hotep, by the way, is a terrible movie.
I've seen it.
It's bad. It's bad. My Name is Bruce is pretty good. But it's kind of got some of the same jokes that used in Ash vs. Evil Dead. Like he has to wear a girdle to tuck in his gut, for example.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he lives in a trailer, which I think he does in Ash vs. Evil Dead too, right? I think they even use the same fucking trailer, if I'm not mistaken.
What it is he lived in the house with his family. The whole thing with the cabin happens. And then, because he stays on the move, so the Deadites can't find him, hence the trailer.
Got it. So are they only after him, or are they after everybody?
They're after the book.
Got it. Okay.
Because dumbass read out of the book.
Again. Oops.
And it's the giant fucking, hey, look at me.
So yeah, it's it seems like he, regardless of how many fucking times he reads from that stupid book, he does it, which is like lesson not learned. You know, it's like the kid puts his hand on the hot stove, will never do it again. Not Bruce. He's like, that felt kind of good. I'll try it again. Does he continue his career in S-Mart at all? Like, where is his funds coming from in the show?
No, actually, he's not at S-Mart in the show. It's just some random department store that he's working at, and because he read out of the book, things start attacking him.
So also, I noticed the cost of shotguns were very cheaper back then as well. He said that Remington cost him $199 retail.
Yeah, $199.99.
Sporting goods, even though he's housewares. You know what they in Evil Dead 2 and 1, I always thought he was a college kid because the way he kind of dressed is a little preppy and he's in a really good shape. You know, I mean, say what you want about Bruce Campbell, dude. That dude was jacked. Like when making these, he had an insane work ethic.
Betsy, wasn't he over, you know, physical for the role?
Like, I know in when preparing for these movies, he had something called like, oh God, what was it? He had a crazy diet and he had a crazy like workout thing, and it was kind of like the 300. I'm trying to think of what it was called, but like it's, you know, like the 300. There was that famous movie and those abs and everything else like that. They called it like the 300 diet and the 300 workout. He was basically doing that pre that movie. So
CrossFit.
I don't know. It wasn't necessarily CrossFit, but it was. Well, there was a lot of like calisthenics and not a lot of like lifting, but probably a lot of like, you know, squats and push-ups and you know, towel weight and stuff like that. But yeah. He looked really good. I mean, dude, it almost looks like his abs are like painted on, and you know, because it's Bruce, you see him now, you're like, Jesus Christ. But that dude was jacked in this movie. Like when I know, like in a couple, like when he's picking things up, they have like wires, but I don't know, man. Like he looks pretty fucking strong to me. Like very believable. You know how much a chainsaw weighs to be able to carry it around on one arm? It actually does really make sense. Because having a chainsaw attached to you, that would get very heavy very quickly. Like within the first hour, you'd be like, dude, this sucks. You know, get this thing off me. Yeah.
Well, that's also why he doesn't have it on until he has to use it.
I do like the metal hand thing. And Ash versus Evil Dead, does he have the metal hand or does he have the like a prosthetic?
At the beginning of the series, he has a wooden, specifically a rosewood hand.
I remember now. Yes, because he's really proud that it's rosewood.
Yeah, and as it progresses, he gets a replacement hand made from a Nintendo glove.
Oh, that's pretty awesome! Like a power glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so bad. Yeah, I might have to rewatch it. I don't know. Is it worth it? Is it worth me getting into?
I'll put it this way: each episode is a bloodier Army of Darkness.
Got it. And I'm sure there's a lot of cheesy side characters as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Chet, his friend that he was talking to in S-Mart.
Oh, yeah, that's Sam Raimi's brother.
Uh-huh.
And then there's, like, I know there's a whole episode with an evil Ash Muppet, correct?
Yes, there is. And it was quite funny watching the puppet try to use its chainsaw to kill someone.
That is funny. You know how I like puppets, especially Muppets. But yeah, there's like, I see that Muppet meme all the time of Ash Muppet, like on Twitter. It's everywhere. If you go like horror
The
fan, you'll
series
see it.
is worth a watch.
I might have to give it a
It
look.
really is.
It's kind of like Peacemaker. I kind of drug my heels on it, but everyone's like, dude, you like John Cena, watch Peacemaker, it's fucking amazing anyway, plus it has John Cena. And then I watched it and I'm like, wow, the show without John Cena is great, but because it has John Cena in it, it's even better. You know what's funny? There's a lot of similarities between Bruce Campbell's character and Peacemaker, very much so.
Minus the trained as a contract killer as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. And having the T-1000 as your dad, which, by the way, is fucking amazing. Awesome. Dude, I cannot wait for season 2 of Peacemaker. It's going to be on HBO Max, which I really don't feel like paying $16 for, but apparently it's going to be in some bundles. Here's the thing. Dude, you notice all the streaming services now, it's basically cable because they're all bundled together now,
Yeah.
I mean, I only have Peacock and Amazon Prime because I have Amazon Prime, right? Peacock, I get it for wrestling. It's only $6. My wife has like Hulu and Netflix, and it's like we basically have cable. We basically have a cable bill because add them all up, we're each paying like $25. And then you have to throw in internet to watch it. It's like we cut the cord and ran to the Wi-Fi antenna. Didn't really change much, did it?
Well, except you don't really necessarily deal with commercials.
Not as much. You still do. Like Peacock or whatever will go like an Amazon. You'll have like 3 minutes of commercials and then you'll be able to watch the full movie.
Yeah, I pay it a little bit extra so I don't deal with the commercial at all.
That's cool. I mean, I always just use this opportunity to take a piss or get a beer between episodes, if it's a series, or just if it's a movie, I just throw it on and just let it go for a minute and then just rewind it. If I miss it.
I will say this because it had been a minute since I watched Army of Darkness. Did you notice how many Necronomicons were there?
There is 3. I'm glad you brought this up. And there is 3 Necronomicons. Because there's the one in 13, the one in Rise, and the one in the original series. However...
No. The one in 13 doesn't count. Because you have the Necronomicon, you have the one from Rise, and the third one we have yet to see.
Wait. Why does the one in 13 not count then? Because is that just a redo of the Cabin of the Woods Necronomicon? Is that what you're saying? Yo, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it take a second?
Yeah. No, it didn't register. Sorry, repeat that.
Yeah, it's its own. It's the same Necronomicon.
Okay.
It's just a redo of 2.
Yeah, I could see what you mean by redo, but you never know because
with a lot more violence.
Yeah, and Maya is pretty fucking badass too. I like Maya a lot.
I will say I would rather chainsaw my hand off than have it
stuck under a car. Yeah.
Removed like that one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Hers is when she pulls it off,
just rips it off.
Dude, that is like such a brutal scene. I remember that movie was one of the first ever movies that I was like, wow, this is fucking like, whoa, shit. Like when you see something, you're like, oh, dude, in the theater, you actually make an audible noise where the gross up factor was so high. And then I saw Evil Dead Rise. Like when you thought they couldn't get any worse. So now we did this when we did the 10 greatest moments in Evil Dead. And I know, we always rank them and stuff. Where would you put Army of Darkness in the whole Evil Dead? Like where would you put it? Like if you have the whole Evil Dead series, And would this be at the top of the list, the bottom, somewhere in the middle? Where do you think this would go?
Not to do the whole splitting hairs thing, but it would depend on how you're ranking it.
Let's just
in terms of popularity, in terms of gore factor.
Let's just say, like, if instead of the Evergreen Tomatoes meter, if there was the Evil Dead meter, and like 100 being Evil Dead 2, I think we can all agree that Evil Dead 2 is the best. Yay? Nay?
With Rise a really close second.
With Rise really close second. Thank you. Rise would be like a 90, right? I would put this kind of near the bottom with Evil Dead 1. Not that Evil Dead 1 is bad, just because Evil Dead 2 was remade into Evil Dead 2, and it's almost like some stuff is like shot for shot. Some. Not all, but some. So I put that kind of last on the list because it does need to exist in cinema, but it doesn't need to exist when you're watching the Evil Deads. But I would put this under 13. I think 13 is a better movie than this because it revitalized, in a way, this kind of killed the series. I mean, not for us fans, but I mean, it took them 11 fucking years to do another movie after this. That's a long time.
Well, yeah. I would say at ranking it from 0 to 10, I would put Evil Dead. Army of Darkness is a solid 6.5.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
because it's good enough, but it's also not great. It's just an across the board. It's there.
Also, the good thing about it too that a lot of the other ones don't have is this movie is an easy watch. It's 121 minutes. You could throw it.
This is pure camp.
Yeah, and also the rewatchability is great. Like you could throw this on at a party, like a Halloween party, and with the sound off, and everyone will go, "Oh yeah, I like this movie." Can't really do that with a lot of other movies, right? Like couldn't do that with like Halloween Kills. Couldn't do that with any of the other Evil Deads except for number 2. Couldn't do that with like Terrifier, for instance, right? Like those movies are like, let's put it this way. My mother-in-law, who is super religious and hates movies with cursing, blood, or sex, could watch this movie and like it. I saw this movie on mushrooms, and this movie didn't fuck me up like an Evil Dead would. Like, do you think I'd ever take hallucinogens and watch Evil Dead 13 or Evil Dead Rise? Get the fuck out of here.
I would love to see someone watch Evil Dead Rise on mushrooms.
I did see Evil Dead 2 on mushrooms, and that scene where he sits in the chair and then like the everything starts laughing at him fucked me up. That was like, whoa. Still like one of the coolest scenes in any horror movie. Making it also too scary, where this one is like, that's the one thing about it. It's not scary, and not for once in this movie do you think Ash is in danger. You know, you're like, he'll find it. It's like a cartoon.
He's in danger of himself.
Yeah, it's like a cartoon. You know, it's like, oh, you know, this has more to do with the Mummy, like with its action adventure. Like it is more a movie like the Mummy or Indiana Jones in a way, where it's like
it's more adventure than anything.
Yeah, yeah, and it's under horror comedy, which is funny because I'd be like, not really. It's more of.
I mean, you could justify that because of the Necronomicon and the Army of Dead.
Yeah, I think too that this movie for real could be considered like the first Dungeons and Dragons movie. After like say Beastmaster. Here's why, is because this movie does not follow any rules whatsoever and totally seems like something a DM would cook up. You know? A time traveler with a chainsaw, you know, and it's goofy. It's totally a campaign that like I would either run and or play in, you know? So, shit. Final thoughts on this movie. Really like it. It's kind of one of those things where I wanted to watch it and find something that maybe I missed or whatever, or on, but no. Remember every scene, very nostalgic, very good, but yeah, like I said, simple movie, easy watch, totally tame, especially for the series. I mean, to call it a horror movie is very, very, like,
generous.
It's pushing it. You cut out the windmill scene, probably not a horror movie. It's probably just an action adventure comedy, sprinkled in with a little bit of romance, but it's so misogynistic romance. It's great. That's what makes it even better. Like when he just grabs that redhead at the end that has nothing to do with him, and he just gives her a kiss. You're like, I don't know. Maybe like the times have got to me because I'm like, that's a little sexist.
There's still a lot of that in the series.
Yeah, well, I know, but Ash is supposed to be like that way, like the "Gimme Some Sugar Baby," "Held to the King Baby," like
it's even worse. It's even worse with his father.
Oh yeah, who plays his dad?
Lee Majors.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
And I'm gonna put it the nice way. He pulls more than Ash.
Wow, nice. I like it.
And young.
Ew, creepy, gross. Oh man.
Apparently, he does the job.
Apparently, I mean, like when you find out that Robert De Niro just had a kid and he's like 80 something, and the chick he's banging is like 30 something. Like she's not older than me, but she's fucking close to being my age. It's just weird. Like old.
I forget he's alive sometimes.
De Niro? Yeah, I know. He's a crazy person now, too. Like, I don't know.
I know Nicholson is.
What did Nicholson do recently?
I don't think he's actually done anything. I think he's actually retired.
Yeah, because he doesn't even do interviews. And never.
Let me verify that.
And I don't think he ever did interviews necessarily. I think he was on like Letterman once. And I think that was for like Cuckoo's Nest. Which, by the way, did you know that's a movie I have yet to see?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Never seen it.
I've seen bits of it.
I've read.
Wow.
I remember I was reading half the book, and I think my ex, it was hers, and I stopped reading it because we broke up, or I left it over there, or she wanted to read it again or something. But I've never actually seen the movie. I know it's like an American classic, and I should probably see it. But because this is the knife party, seeing how it's not horror, I don't necessarily have to see it. However, it is fucking Jack Nicholson, and I love Jack Nicholson. I mean, Joker, Shining. What more do you want? Like, the guy is fucking great. Not necessarily a Lon Chaney Jr., but very good facial communications. I also want to see Chinatown. That's another movie I
haven't seen Chinatown either. Apparently, the last movie he was in was How Do You Know? And that was in 2010.
Oh, yeah. So he's way done. Yeah, there's no way he's coming back.
He's retired.
Yeah.
He is retired.
And I think the last thing De Niro did was it The Irishman? Am I wrong?
No, I think he's done stuff since then.
Oh, well, I don't know. All I know is he's like crazy political, crazy guy. Like now. Like, I don't understand when people become crazy political person.
No, actually, he's still acting.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the last thing that's recently came out was a movie called Ezra and a series called Nada.
Okay. Never.
Yeah, the known thing you could probably recognize out of the name would be Killers of the Flower Moon that came out last year.
Again, no. The last movie I saw with him was Irishman, and before that was Silver Linings Playbook. And that movie's a hard watch. All right. Well,
the Irishman.
Yeah,
was 2019. That's a long ass movie.
I know. It's like that was kind of like when I'm like, man, what happened, Scorsese? You did Wolf of Wall Street, which was a masterpiece, and then you did this. like Wolf of Wall Street is so fucking good. And then Irishman is just kind of like, yeah, dude, we've seen Goodfellas. Like, you don't need to do it again. And it wasn't that great compared to, like, you know, Goodfellas, Casino. And then that. And you're like, what? What happened? That being said, I'll die on the sword of fuck all the Godfather's movies, because anything Scorsese could fart in a bowl of spaghetti and it's anything better than The Godfather. It's just not. It's just an overrated movie. It's totally overrated. And speaking of over, we're about at an hour, and I'm dead tired, and I think I'm out of funny. Anything we want to leave on? Besides, go see Evil Dead.
See all the Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy all the gore and the slaughtering of the Deadites.
You know,
come check out our Discord. We tend to game, and we'll be on there if you ever want to join us.
Maybe we should do, like, when we're done with Fallout and we want to get into a new series, maybe Ash vs. Evil Dead might be something that we should discuss. I got
it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think they might have taken it off.
I think it's on HBO Max now.
Probably. I know it was on Stars, and that's part of a lot of what did the series in was the fact that it was
on a weird channel.
On a
and there's only
platform
two,
that
there's
a
only
lot of people didn't really watch.
There's only 2 seasons, right?
3.
Oh, there's 3. Oh, get out of here. Okay. Well, definitely might have to check it out then. You know, especially like after watching this, it really wanted me to, like, I was craving some more Ash, you know.
I do like how the series, like, okay, for those of you who haven't, for some reason, seen any of Evil Dead as a whole, this is what happened before all this.
Yeah, so it has like a good intro kind of recap to people just getting into it. Well, I really doubt our listeners haven't seen the Evil fucking Dead movie, but yeah, I got you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone listening has at least seen one, if not all of them. You know, I'm probably one of the only people that is talking that's not seen the whole series, or at least a majority of it. I've only seen the first 3 episodes. It was one of those things where Jonathan and I were watching it for a minute when he lived with me, like ages ago, like 10 years ago. And we were watching it, and just one week we didn't watch it, and then I just stopped watching it because it was just a thing that we did. You know, it was like, oh, cool, we'll watch a new episode. And yeah, it's because he broke up with his girl at the time, I think, and he was kind of like dating out, and I think we watched on the weekends, if I'm not mistaken. Timeline holds up about that way, I think. So, well,
yeah,
cool.
Funny how that works.
Well, hopefully we'll have the band back together in order to do Canelo Trilogy Hot Fuzz. I'm going to release this in such a way where it does not interrupt the trilogy. Breaking kayfabe there. Yeah. Probably release this if next week is just a total fucking bust, like meaning I can't get Antonius over or Rob. I want to get Antonius mainly though, just because Antonius loves Hot Fuzz. That's like one of his favorite movies, and it's my favorite out of the series. So
as long as one of them shows up,
exactly. And then I also Antonius has my copy of World's End, so I let him borrow it so we could review that. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about those. And then after that,
well, then he has no excuse. He has to show his ass up.
Exactly. And then we have some leeway before Zombies Month, which I'm kind of a little worried that we're going to have to see some shit. But yeah.
So you do remember that we have the same birth month, right?
I know, but did you hear him like bitch and moan that like how dare you like share a month with him? Don't worry, you'll get your shit in.
We were actually talking I'll get 2 and he'll get 2.
Cool. Let me give you some. Let me give you to be fair. Let me give you some coming attractions though of movies that we need to do, and these are going to be a little obscure. So go buy them. You can get them cheap. Just buy them used on DVD, like eBay. He Never Died. It's a movie I recently picked up. It's really great. Believe it or not, it stars Henry Rollins. It is a low-budget vampire movie, and it is great. It is really good. It is like really one of my favorite vampire movies. So there's that. That we're probably going to be doing in between August and now. So June, July. That's a must we got to do. Virus starring Jamie Lee Curtis and also Donald Sutherland. This movie's really cool. It's a zombie movie based off technology. Think about like, what if the Matrix was the Matrix, but instead of us sleeping in pods, they actually use our body parts. Yeah. Really good movie. And creepy as fuck, too.
So, a digital Tetsuo, the Machine Man?
No, more like AI takes over a robotics factory and starts kidnapping people and turning them into half machine, half people.
Okay.
It's really good. So those two are definitely on the list. I keep saying Wolf Creek, and god damn it, are we going to be doing Wolf Creek sooner rather than later? One of my favorite serial killer movies, and y'all need to see that. So those three, I know Wolf Creek's pretty much available, but the other two are going to be kind of hard to find. He Never Died. I think I got like the last Blu-ray on Amazon because it said like only one left, and I'm like, fuck it, even though it's expensive. But you could find it online for rental for like $1.99 or some shit like that. So,
I know we were talking about it at one point, but are we still doing Arnie month?
We were going to do Arnie month. The only thing is, like, I kind of want to just sneak in an Arnold movie sooner rather than later. And actually, it's funny you brought it up. I was going to think about Total Recall because it's Vinderhoven, who I love. We haven't done an Arnold movie in a while, and I've been meaning to watch that movie. It used to be my Nana's favorite movie, so I watched it all the fucking time. The music's great.
Oh, yeah, there's only one Total Recall.
Yeah, damn right there is. Arnie's. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Vinderhoven and Arnie and Sharon Stone. What more do you want? Dude, you have sex, muscles, and brains right there. Plus, Michael Ironsides is in it. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So good. And also, if I'm not mistaken, isn't the bad guy from RoboCop? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is the bad guy from RoboCop. Yep. So, star-studded cast there. We got to sneak in Total Recall pretty soon. And then I just want to get a lot of movies out of the way because come season 3, I want to re-record some episodes now that we kind of have our flow going. So, like, for instance, Starship Troopers, I want to redo that again.
Well, at least our flow.
Yeah, our flow, exactly. Kind of want to do, I listening back to some other ones. I definitely want to do that. I definitely want to do Lost Boys because Twister, re-record that.
Yeah, we need to do Twister before it comes out in theater.
Exactly, and Twister is like I have it on lost episodes, but we definitely need to rewatch Twister. It's so fucking great. Plus, I don't mind watching Helen Hunt and her titties. Like I can watch them all the time. Did I send you my copy of Twister, or do you have a copy of Twister?
I have Plex.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
I still have access to D's Plex, so I have it readily available.
Got it. All right. Yeah, so we got a lot of cool stuff to do. We just need to get on it and make sure the boys are available when they're available. So
I still need to go check out the Twister Museum, actually.
There's a Twister Museum?
Yes, there is. It's 2 hours from me, actually.
Tell me it's called F5.
No, I don't believe it is.
Damn it. Does Brock Lesnar have, like, anything in there? Because, his finishing move was called the F5.
Nope.
Damn it. Anyway.
But they do a lot of meetups.
Oh, so, like, that's cool. Yeah, that would be a cool place to, so is it the movie museum or a museum that's based around the movie, if you know what I mean? It's probably the latter.
I will tell you in a second.
Okay. I mean, if they don't have a wax sculpture of Bill Paxton, I'm going to be a little upset. Do they have the bottle of Jack Daniels that he threw into the belly of the beast? Hey, remember in Twister? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think they'll ever find that.
Okay.
Ever. It actually is in Wakita.
It's what? Is it where the movie takes place?
Twister the movie museum is in Wakita.
And that's where the movie takes place, am I right? Wow.
Yep.
Dude, you need to go there and film, like do a whole YouTube thing, and we'll attach it to our channel, you at the Twister Museum, and just give everyone a hard time and ask about the Chaz and stuff. And just, film.
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 17 minutes from me.
Dude, that is, you know what you should do? Watch Twister on the way up. Because it's almost about the same time. You know what I mean? So, just record the audio of the movie, put it on like a podcast or whatever, and then listen to it on the way up and just quote the movie the whole time when you're there. I would actually love to go. I'm jealous of you, Twister Me. Of course, I have where all the Zodiac murders took place is just in my backyard, but almost as cool as Twister.
You've got the Zodiac. I've got Tornado Alley.
There you go.
And a whole bunch of other shit from the Depression and
slavery.
Yeah.
There's that.
There's that too.
Yeah, where's the Django Museum?
Probably in Texas.
The D is silent. All right, man, we're getting out of here. Thanks so much for saving the show, or else we almost lost the episode. And Mr. Zombies, Mr. Rob Zombies, Mr. Rob Azure Zombies. Fucking vehicle maintenance starts one day at a time, not all at once. Okay, so it's not like going to the dentist after 20 years. You have to keep going in, right? Can't be like me.
Also,
yes,
you can. If you actually did manage to save some, you can now eat the chili.
Dude, that sucked. I saved him a little bit too, and I know I really did. I saved him like a good a mug full, like a good serving, not a whole dinner.
Yep.
But motherfucker's not going to get any until I make a next batch. And guess what, dude? It tasted better today than it did yesterday. All the flavors are just so fucking good. The next one I'm going to work on, dude, there's that ramen beef noodles, that rib stew or soup. It's like, it looks so damn good. Yeah. I'm going to work on that. All right, for real, though, I'm getting out of here. All right, dude, I'll talk to you later. Remember, be ethical to each other, be kind, rewind. I have some videotapes to return. Follow me at Father Heel spelled like your foot on Twitter, or on PSN at Zach Evergreen, spelled exactly how you think, meaning it's spelled with an H. Yeah. It's Z Alpha Charlie Hotel. There you go. Cool, dude. See you ramen time next week for episode 7, Fallout.
Yep.
All right, guys. See ya.